Hey everybody, John Foss, CW Twin Cities. Very excited to be talking with Greg Proops from Whose Line Is It Anyway? Greg, thanks so much for being here.
What a pleasure, John. Thanks for having me on.
So you are talking to us because you're going to be here in the Twin Cities. Tell us all about that.
Well, we're going to be there on September 16th, 7:30 p.m. at the Ordway Center, or Ordway Music Theater, rather. We'll be doing our Whose Line Is It Anyway show, just like on the TV show Whose Line Is It Anyway, except it's way more interactive, and we bring people out of the audience, we sing to people, people are in improvs with us, and everything we do is based on audience suggestion. So it's like watching a TV show, except without that tricky pane of glass between you and us.
Yeah, so people in the audience can get on stage?
Well, they can't just crawl on stage, John, or I'll push them off, but we invite them to come up and do improvs with us, and so we improvise with people from the audience, and it's great fun.
I might try to get in the audience and maybe I'll get my big break if you guys pull me up on stage and I show you what I can do. Has that ever happened?
I know what you look like, John, and I'm going to have security on special high alert. No one's ever gotten a big break at our show, but we did get a bunch of standing ovations last night, so we are very, very funny indeed. There's no question of that. And we sing, we dance, we jump around, and it's really good fun for the whole family.
Have you been to the Twin Cities?
I have been to the Twin Cities. I've played Minneapolis several times. I shot a Best Buy commercial there in the 90s, so I have a lot of really nice recollections of the Twin Cities. Yeah, we played. I also did my podcast there a couple years ago, and I'm good friends with Liz Winstead, who's a famous Minneapolitan.
Awesome. What was your character for the Best Buy commercial?
Oh, golly, I think I was a lovable clerk. I just remember we went to a Best Buy and we saw it there for hours and hours, and then we stayed at a hotel called the Nicolette Inn that had the best breakfast I've ever had. I only think of my personal comfort, John.
Well, we're actually 2 blocks from Nicolette right now.
Well, there you are. I can nip over there and get an egg.
So here's my question for you. How does somebody get into improv? Because without thinking of improv, stand-up comedy seems like that would be the most terrifying thing, but improv is even one step further because you have no preparation.
Oh, improv is even easier because you don't have to remember anything. I'm a stand-up comic too, and I have to remember my act, and it's murder. It's fun. A lot of people started in college. I did, and I think because of Whose Line, a lot of people have taken it up in high school and stuff like that. I don't know about making a living at it. I don't want to be a bummer or anything, but not that many people do make a living at it. I think we're the ones. But it is great fun to do, and it also helps you in your actual regular life. People think they can't improvise, but you're improvising all the time. Like, say, for instance, you were late for work, John. You'd have to tell the program director why you were late, and then you would improvise something.
That's true. I have made up some doozies, so I see where you're coming from there. Have you ever blanked on stage?
Why? What have you heard?
Well, we've seen some video. No, I'm just kidding. You look. That's the thing. You look flawless, but it just seems like at some point, has there ever been that moment when you're just like, I can't think of anything? And what do you do when that happens?
Well, if you can't think of anything, you get physical, or just try to listen more to whatever someone's saying and not get in the way. But I think part of what makes it so exciting for us and for the audience is that there's that element of failure. It's possible that we may not make it, and I think that makes it exciting. Of course, we do, but it is random. I mean, last night things went wrong, and Joel fell on the floor, and things got out of order, and we just went with the flow, and it was really fun. And the crowd went bananas because they could tell we were in the moment.
Yeah, definitely. And you also have a podcast, The Smartest Man in the World. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, thank you for asking. I've been doing it for, since 2010. So I got in right before the podcast boom exploded all over the place, and I'm lucky in that regard. My wife and I put it together every week, and we take it around the world. This year we've done it in Bermuda, and then we're going to London and Paris. We've done it in Amsterdam, Helsinki, Stockholm, New York, everywhere. Like I said, I did it in Minneapolis. It was great. So it's a portable feast, and we record it anywhere in the world where we're playing, and it's mostly topical. We talk about feminism and politics, history, baseball, art, music, and books, things like that. And it's very political right now, obviously, because I'm a screaming liberal in San Francisco.
How vetted is that title, The Smartest Man in the World?
You can check around, and you'll find that the qualifications are there. I went to junior college for 2 years, and I never graduated regular college. However, I did drink a lot. And so I think if you look at my credentials, they're almost impeccable.
That is definitely the credentials. And you also have a very long resume on imdb.com, so you've done a ton of things. I mean, it doesn't get much bigger than Star Wars. You had a voice in that. What was that like, first of all? I mean, when Star Wars came back, that was such a huge thing. What was it like to be a part of that project?
Well, it was amazing. We auditioned. We were working in Edinburgh at the Fringe Festival there doing stand-up. And they sent a woman in from Lucasfilm in those days, now it's Disney, of course, who worked for George, and she was looking for American voices to do the pod race announcers. Because I'm in the Phantom Menace, which, as you may recall, is a terrible accident happened and destroyed a good deal of the plot of that movie. And so when they crash land on the planet, instead of using their Jedi powers to fix the ship, they enlist a 6-year-old to be in a death-defying pod race gambling race. And I'm one of the announcers in that. So we went into London and we auditioned and we read and we made up stuff. And we went to Leavesden and shot. We had to wear giant prosthetic heads that got CGI'd right out of the movie. And George Lucas was as nice and calm and wonderful as you could possibly imagine someone being in a room with 150 people standing in it. There was crew everywhere and we had to get up in front of a green screen. And George would come up to us and go, that was really good. Do you want to do it again? And I go, okay, George, we'll do it again. But he never really said cut or action or anything. It was pretty exciting.
Interesting. What's your favorite Star Wars film?
The second one.
Okay.
Return of the Jedi. Yeah. I think that one's a cracker.
It is a good one.
A lot of people think the one I'm in is not my... Sorry, John.
It's not what?
The one I'm in is not my favorite.
Well, it's my favorite because you're in it. I also love that you were in Family Matters. That's going way back to my youth.
Oh, gee whiz. Now you're reaching back. Yeah, I know Jaleel, and that was a fun week on the show. I played a club owner. I was also in The Nightmare Before Christmas, and we're doing it live at the Hollywood Bowl this year on October 26th and 27th. Yes, way. With a full orchestra. John Masieri is conducting, the maestro, and Danny Elfman, Catherine O'Hara, Ken Page. Everyone does their roles from the movie, and we sing it to film. And I've done it the last 3 years. We've done it at the Hollywood Bowl, and then last year we did it at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. So we're live at the Hollywood Bowl. If you're in LA that weekend, it's really fun.
That sounds amazing.
It is. It's as close to being in an opera as I'm ever going to get.
What's your favorite project that you've worked on throughout your career?
Well, I love the podcast a lot because it's my baby and I can say what I want. But I love working with the boys here. Like last night, we had a smashing show, and we were very happy afterward. And Joel said to me, "Isn't this the best job?" And I said, "It is." So I appreciate the gift I've been given. And but to be honest, that during the Nightmare Before Christmas Live, I'm like a 5-year-old through the whole thing. I watch every minute of it. I watch the overture. I watch the entr'acte. I listen to every minute of the score. It's exhilarating to me. My wife will tell you that I just laugh like a child through the whole thing.
Is Tim Burton still involved?
Tim Burton wrote the picture and was the producer on it. Henry Selick directed it, and Danny did all the music. So because this is a showing the movie, it's Danny's baby. Danny and John, the conductor. And it's called Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas, obviously, because Tim wrote it. But he's not actually physically there or anything like that. Although I don't know. You might see him skulking around in the shadows.
All right, well, Greg, thank you so much for being with us in Twin Cities. Make sure you get tickets to Who's Live Anyway. It's going to be September 16th at the Ordway. You can get tickets at ordway.org. Greg, thanks so much for being with us.
Thanks for all your time, John. I really appreciate it.